doghouse here is mighty small, but it's better than no house at all.
Want to see a sane man become a major loon? Take 1 part confidence, add an ample amount of denial, and blend with pregnancy. Back in 1993, I was a successful business consultant. That means companies paid me money to tell them how to make more money. Beth, my wife, is one of the smartest and strongest people I know. She's a writer, a historian, and an archivist who curates a private collection. Beth and I deal with conflict in very different ways. I like to talk it to death. Beth has other ways. There's the okay. One Thanksgiving, 30 people were coming over for dinner. Beth wanted to set up tables in the living room. To do this, we needed to move the bedroom furniture into the garage, the living room furniture into the bedroom, making it a cocktail area, and put tables in the living room. I said, that's a lousy idea. Beth said, okay. Moments later, I saw my 5'2" wife pushing a couch standing on its end towards the bedroom. If I say yes, okay, it means yes. For Beth, it means I'll take it under consideration. Then there's what I call the great escape. When she disagrees, she picks up a book, stops talking, and reads, turning my carefully crafted argument into a monologue. We were having a baby. More accurately, Beth was having the baby. I was consulting. During the first sonogram, I found out what choked up meant because I was physically unable to speak. Beth was going to have a C-section. Of course, there was a class. It began with a video of the operation. My entire body began shaking and sweating. My first panic attack. When I'm nervous, I do things. We wanted a larger house, and I was going to get a larger house for my baby. With the due date 8 weeks away, we stumbled onto a house we liked. We only had to get a mortgage, pack, move, and rent our current place. The only travel I had was to Sweden for a week or so. We closed with the due date 5 weeks away and set about the work of packing and moving. Fatigue soon became a factor, especially for Beth. You might recall she was pregnant. 2 weeks before the due date, we completed the move. Had I just stopped there and focused on what Beth really needed, I would have been all right. But I decided to invite my parents for a month. Beth said okay. Now, Beth's concern was she knew my mother drove me crazy. My mom had the amazing ability to rain on any parade. I'd tell her I was getting a bonus. She'd say, "That's great. I hope they actually pay it." After they arrived, Beth was reading lots of books and conversation was on an as-needed basis. The day came, I was in the delivery room. It was surreal, speaking to Beth while watching the doctors do what they needed to do to introduce Aaron to the world. Screaming, but with all parts in place, he arrived. What a joy. Beth and I sat in our new home. Aaron was asleep. We were physically and emotionally exhausted, but so happy. We had 3 cats. Sadly, our dog had passed away a few months earlier. With Aaron 3 days old, I went out to get cat food and saw in the adoption area a dog, Tipper, a lab mix. This dog would fill the hole in our family picture. Beth suggested not getting her. I said, Aaron will love her. She'll protect the house and she won't be any trouble at all. Beth didn't respond. She just stared in disbelief. I brought Tipper home. Beth suggested I sleep on the couch with Tipper. A few days later, Tipper ate a complete Estee Lauder makeup box. Brushes reduced to splinters, blush and face powder eaten and tubes chewed. Beth said, she's a beautiful dog inside. That's my wife, yes. House check, baby check, parents check, dog check. Beth happily reading and recovering from childbirth, check. Me sleeping on the couch, check. Aaron was a week old and Thanksgiving was 2 weeks away. Beth and I always had people over. Why should this year be any different? Beth said something about skipping it. I said it would be easy. Beth said something about recovering from surgery. I invited people over. Beth told me to sleep on the couch because my snoring was keeping her awake. She then picked up a book. I made a concession. Instead of Beth and I doing all the cooking, we would have people bring things. I sent them specific recipes from Gourmet. Thanksgiving of 1993 was ushered in by an ice storm. That storm saved me. People canceled. This left some holes in the menu, but it created a nice, quiet Thanksgiving. Soon my parents went back to New York. As my panic subsided, I didn't stop doing things, but I was actually focusing on Beth and Aaron. I brought her coffee, changed diapers, and got up in the middle of the night to prepare Aaron for his feeding. Beth looked up from her book. We started talking again. I didn't have to sleep on the couch anymore. I know now what I should have known then. I really annoyed Beth. In her own way, she put me in the doghouse. She also forgave me. I'm lucky our relationship is elastic enough to stretch in hard times and then snap back to normal. We still live in the house. Tipper lived a long life and was well loved. My parents are both gone, but they had the joy of being with their grandson for the first month of his life. Beth and I celebrated our 25th anniversary this year. Okay, I can still be a major loon, but I'd like to think I learned something from this adventure. Sometimes I need to step back and consider all the options and impacts, even if it means appearing less confident.